This is Kimberly Quinn, host of the Mindcraft podcast, and I can't tell you how much fun I have had doing this podcast. I started when the world closed over the pandemic in an attempt to spread some positivity out there and give people some strategies to enhance their own well being and reduce anxiety and all of that. Now, 2 years later, we're still going strong and now listened to by 52 countries across the world. And I've even helped some of my students get going with their own podcasts. It's super easy to do. And I'll tell you, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. I'll just explain for you. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It is a ball. Start today. Greetings, Mindcrafters, and welcome to another Mindcraft discussion. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am thrilled on this blustery day in December as we head into the new year to talk about, just having a conversation, I guess, about thinking and separating out our what we want from what we need. We've got a real disease of wanting in this country, just which, of course, during the holidays, which are partially over, right? But now everybody's in the midst of the after Christmas sales, and to really separate out what we want from what we need. This is very, very important for our mental health and well being. So, I've been on a Sarah Von Brednek jag lately, and I still am because she just has a lot going on here with needs versus wants, wants versus needs. And she typically starts out with a quote. So this one's from Hannah Senish. And Hannah says, "In my life's chain of events, nothing was accidental." Oh, of course. Everything happened according to an inner need. So first, we need to be clear right out of the gate, right? There are no such things as accidents and no such things as coincidences. We are not, human beings having a spiritual experience, as I say. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and one of my greatest thinkers that I have in my life is Wayne Dyer. He talks about that a lot. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I also talk about my friend Tom a lot, who's the synchronicity guy. And interestingly, wow, speaking of synchronicity, can't make this stuff up. I was just having a chat with our youngest daughter about 20 minutes ago, talking about this and how, listening for watching for the green lights and also watching for the red lights, and everything happening and unfolding accordingly. It unfolds the way it's supposed to unfold. Now, when Hannah talks about this, everything happened according to an inner need, of course, because again, we are walking balls of energies. We're putting it out there all day long. What is going on with our inner being? All day long, we are putting out energy, and the universe, God, higher power, source, capital S, whatever you want to say, is responding to what we are putting out there all day, every day. So Sarah starts out here. She says, "Do you have everything you need right now?" I want to kind of pause right there because I think it's really important to think about that and think about, basic needs, especially. I think of Maslow, one of my two favorite psychologists, the other one being Viktor Frankl. Maslow's hierarchy of needs has been so popular for so long because it's so true, right? On the bottom, we have the need for, food, water, and all that. And the second one, it comes to safety, which is shelter. Shelter would also be on the first here, and it just climbs up to esteem needs, love needs, and then self actualization, and then self transcendence, right? So without food and water, we're not too concerned about going out with the girls on Friday. Without being able to pay rent or mortgage, we're not too concerned about, planning that, picnic or golf outing. It's just how it works. And so needs are needs. Needs are things that we are at the very least uncomfortable without. We might be debilitated without them, right? Food and water. But at the very least, we are uncomfortable when our needs are not met. So So it's very important to ask yourself, do I have everything I need right now? Food, water, safety, security, right? And then keep, a sense of belonging. That's also part of it. And then as we move up the hierarchy of needs, past the esteem and the need for belonging, because we're human being, no matter how introverted you might be, we all need people. We all need each other. We are interconnected, and that's how it is. Then we climb higher to self-actualization. Follow that's living the best life right there. Living your very best life, living your dreams. Your inner being is riding up on this high flying frisbee. You're living a life that's driven by passion, fueled by passion, that sort of thing. Then, of course, the need after that one, eventually, as we climb up, is transcendence, and that's when we follow that passion, and for a greater good, something that's larger than ourselves. So, of course, we can think of Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, Gandhi. Although it's not only these, sort of famous people have done these amazing things. We can all, and we do things every day. I think of the firefighters, brave, just most courageous firefighters and policemen who ran into the trade centers knowing they weren't coming out, kind of thing. And then there are daily people that we will never know that they're, I think if you want to think really big, think of the Holocaust, when people hid Jewish people, at a huge risk to themselves. We'll never know who those heroes were, mostly, right? So there's that bigger than us thing, and that doesn't have to be on such a huge level. It can be, any kind of you know I say mission does not mean Peace Corps necessarily, but just our calling on this earth. I don't care if you work at a bank. We can still be versus Peace Corps kind of thing. We can still rise above to do something that's bigger than ourselves. And then Sarah says, what about your wants? Wants are different, right? Needs first, because again, when we don't have our needs met, we're not real focused on that new sweater. It just isn't. Unless it's an issue of warmth, which is gets back to basic needs. But we're not interested in all the bling bling. We can't think about that vacation when we're 3 months behind in our rent, kind of thing, and they're ready to kick us out. That's what we're getting at. Then she says, few of us have everything we want, and at times our wants can seem positively all consuming. Our sensibilities become confused and overstimulated by a mass media that glorifies beautiful people and expensive objects. Wow. I mean, and especially now, you know, we're in the holidays. Just got past Christmas and Hanukkah ended the 26th, right? So very close together. And now we're swimming in after Christmas everything, all the advertisements, all the traffic, all the blah 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 blah. People, clogging up customer service with returns, and then there's all the regifting and all that sort of thing. So it's still going on. And then she says it's easy to lose clarity. It's easy to lose clarity. I love how she says, I'm a big clarity fan, about what it is we need to live authentically. What do we need to live authentically? So we talked about satisfying the body basically with the food, water, shelter, all that stuff. And then as you climb up on Maslow's hierarchy, right? There's the esteem needs, need for love and belonging and self-actualization. So to live authentically, we've talked about this a lot. Listen to the whispers. That's what Oprah says. Listen to the whispers. And my friend Tom with the green lights, because those green lights, it's when we are sort of speaking to God, or for you, it's the universe or higher power, whatever. Those whispers, those green lights that we're seeing, is God or the universe talking back. So it's kind of like we're putting it out there, and there's not much of a point of doing that if we're not receptive to the answers. And my youngest daughter and I were just talking about, like, right before this podcast. She's headed out to Denver. She's 22 years old, just graduated from St. Lawrence, and she's headed out to Denver to work for a law firm. And it's amazing. And we're just so proud of her. And that said, the example though is that one thing after the other just fell into place. So it's so meant to be. It has meant to be all over it. The phone call went smoothly, then the interview, then the second interview, and everybody. It all just was so smooth. No speed bumps. No rescheduling, nothing happened. The apartment she just found, just landed, is in place. She has a nice roommate who they've got a lot in common. It's like one thing after the other, just green light, green light, green light. And it's so important to pay attention to those. Those are our authentic needs being met, because she is currently being, her path is just being lit up right before her with like neon signs saying, go this way, go this way, go this way, go this way. And so it's very important for us to pay attention to these. And also, interestingly, this is part of the reason we were talking about this, because it's a very blustery day. It's dangerous. The governor just called it a winter storm. I forget if we're at emergency yet, but it's bad. And she never misses a day of work. And she lives farther out than most people. Very rough roads. And one thing after the other was shutting down her being able to go to work today. So just one thing after the next. They just closed the credit union. I just got a message that said that they don't close banks. So I said, Delaney, this is a sign too. Her dad's called 95 times saying how bad the roads are. We have a tree down right outside of our driveway. They have to go all the way around it because there's no going through the tree. So red light, red light, red light. So she and I were just talking about this right before this podcast. This is all in the same. Literally, that conversation was the red lights with calling in, which she never does to work today because it isn't safe. Followed by she's headed out to Denver in a week and a half, and it's been just so smooth with all of it. And this is what we're talking about. The authentic path, the universe, God, source, however you want to say, is speaking to us. And when it's letting us know that our authentic needs will always be met. We just need to listen and then follow the little clues like Hansel and Gretel, follow little popcorn signals down the path, and then we'll be off and running. And then Sarah says, okay, we talked about the lemon repeats this. I kind of cut myself off there. It's easy to lose clarity about what it is we need to live authentically. That's when we get lost, right? We get off track, pursuing things that are not in our best interest. And then she says, most of us are hungering for something more in our lives. Man, is that the truth? Most of us are hungering more for something in our lives. But do you really think the answer can be found in a glossy magazine or on the movie screen? And remember, too, we're paying attention to our inner being knows what's up, because our inner being is, connected divinely to everybody else on this planet, those before us, those after us, the whole thing, right? So though our inner needs are our authentic needs. All too often, when we're on autopilot, which is the biggest thief of life minutes that there could possibly be, we allow our needs to be on the outside of us, which therefore gives other people control, right? That is not what we want. Whatever it is, we don't want our needs being met by other people, which means our happiness and joy are dependent upon other people. We need to make sure we jump back into our own frame, and listen to those whispers that only we can hear, to follow exactly it is that we are meant to be doing. And that's all the way through, with jobs, with relationships, with travel, with moving, with dinner choice, with being at the right place at the right time. Whatever, we need to listen to the inner voice so that we can actually get our own authentic needs met. So then she says, make peace with the knowledge that you can't have everything you want. Why? Because it's more important for us to get everything we need. Like infants, we feel contentment when our essential needs are met. I'm just going to jump in here, is because I do believe we can have everything we want, as long as it's authentic. That's the key. If we're talking about, soul hole filling, which I did another episode on, which is just coming from a place of shame and deprivation. We're filling it up with alcohol and shopping and unhealthy sex, and filling it up it's kind of like trying to water flowers with a watering can with a hole in it. That, I would agree with Sarah, is true. We can't fill ourselves up in that way. However, when it's pure authenticity, and that our heart's desire is authentic, in that sense, we can absolutely have the world by the ass and have everything that we want and need. Be courageous, she says. Oh wait, I missed one. Oh no, I didn't. Sorry. Be courageous. Ask yourself, What is it that I truly need to make me happy? What is it that I truly need to make me happy? The deepest personal answers to this vital question will be different for each of us. Trust the loving wisdom of your heart. It is only after acknowledging our inner needs that we can harness the creative energy necessary to manifest them in our lives. So she and I are saying the same thing. It's just rhetorically, it's just a little different. So we're not filling it up with, we're not filling ourselves up with, you know, mountain bikes and a bottle of Grey Goose. We're getting filled up authentically by chasing our passion. So, and then we can manifest any of that, any of our authentic heart's desires that we have, any of it, all of it. And then she says, it is inevitable when one has a great need of something, one finds it. Gertrude Stein reminds us, what you need, you attract like a lover. That's where we're going to wind up right there. What you need, you attract like a lover, because the universe, God, source, whatever, will absolutely fill that need for you. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the beautiful, blustery Northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.